folks. They're great parents, they're great friends, and they are great conservative leaders. A nice Green Bay welcome, please, for Matt and Mercedes Schlapp.
It's so nice not to be in the swamp. Oh my God. Nice, normal folks who love America. Pretty cool.
And of course, Matt always prefers to be in the Midwest, in the heart of America. And he's like, let's just get out of Virginia, get out of the Washington, D.C. area, and bring our kids to what I would call a normal, friendly place. So thank you for your warm, warm welcome. We are so honored to be here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Woo!
Where we need to make sure that Donald J. Trump gets reelected in November.
Where cars are still legal for now, and where people love their country. And we say a prayer and a pledge, and we sing our anthem. We used to do that because that's how we were raised. Now we do it because it's what it's all about. They don't like America. They want to transform America. You know what that means? I looked it up. It's an SAT word. You know what transform means? Change it. Scrap it. Start over. When Mercy tells me she wants to transform her husband, it ain't good. It's bad.
That's only when you leave a mess in the house, Schlapp.
Yeah, I know, it's true.
But this is the fight for America's soul. And it's interesting because Joe Biden seems to be using those words. By the way, it's a Harris-Biden ticket. I don't know if you've got the message yet. Because I think Kamala has literally thrown Biden into the basement, locked the key, and planning to show up to the presidential debates. I don't know about you. What do you think? But here's the deal. The problem is that they are not running in the center. They are running so far left. They have picked a vice presidential candidate that is the most liberal senator, more liberal than Bernie Sanders. How's that even possible? And so
Let me just interrupt you. She got, the American Conservative Union, which puts on CPAC. Do you know what Kamala Harris got, according to our congressional ratings last year? A zero. A bagel. With all the big issues in front of our country, she didn't vote right one single time on anything you care about.
Yeah. So we're here because, as you know, CPAC really knows how to reach the grassroots. I mean, you all have done an amazing job, and I'm very proud of the team here, and they really are like family. And you all are part of the CPAC family because you know what's at risk, and you know what the message you need to take to your friends and to your colleagues and to your community, which is we need everyone to go out and vote. We need to activate now. We cannot sleep, we cannot slumber. We need to work every single day to get this president reelected. And we come here because we want to make sure you all are energized, that you know that you have all the support you need to get the job done for President Trump. And it really is about understanding the dangers of socialism. It is a failed experiment in so many countries, and we have to stand strong that this socialist manifesto, this socialist agenda that Joe Biden has embraced is stopped dead in its track.
That's right. And we're going to bring a special guest onto the stage, but I want you all to understand how much we appreciate you. The state of Wisconsin is critical, right, to taking back our country, and for Donald Trump to get 4 more years, and for great members of Congress like Mike Gallagher to come back. So we're here because we want to say to you, we appreciate what you're doing. But we're also here because it's really important that we all stop listening to what the fake news media is telling us. That somehow there's something bad when conservatives get together. That there's a darkness in our hearts. That somehow we're not good and decent and virtuous people that love our country and want the best for everyone, no matter your color, no matter your creed. This is what we believe in. They want to separate us. They want to lock us in our basements. They want to keep us from doing the things that we know make us better, like go to church and send our kids to school. They want to prevent us from exercising our First Amendment rights to decide what church we go to and what school our kids go to. You know, isn't it ironic that the left always makes fun of homeschooling, but now they want to mandate it on all of us parents? The only kind of homeschooling they like is when they can force it on you. And so what we have to do as conservatives is not listen to the propaganda. We've listened to this propaganda that's come from all these elite institutions in our society, telling us everything about America that's good is crummy and rotten and stinks. And it's had its effect. Because now you have higher and higher numbers of Americans saying, actually, America isn't a good place. But I think all of you, and you talked about this last night on Fox News, I think all of you know that when you speak your mind, they call you a hater, yes, or a deplorable or an irredeemable, as they said in the Hillary Clinton campaign. Hillary Clinton herself called us deplorable. And as a Catholic, when Kamala Harris sends obnoxious questions to Christians, asking them if they know that their church or organizations associated with their church, if they knew that their church is essentially a hate group because they want to diminish a woman's reproductive rights, or they believe in traditional marriage, or they believe in gender. That is across the line. That Joe Biden never called Kamala Harris out on this gross religious intolerance while she did what she did to Brett Kavanaugh. Was it a coincidence that Brett Kavanaugh just happened to be a Catholic as well and go to a prestigious Catholic institution? Is that why all of a sudden she found an orgy club at that high school? I find this intolerance against Christians, against Catholics, against conservatives, and now it's just Americans, to be obnoxious. And I think that's why we have to stand up. And we have somebody with us today we're really proud to have be on our stage. Corey Lewandowski, would you come out, Corey? Corey, what's going on in America? Tell us.
You know, it's such a pleasure to be here with Matt and Mercy, who I've had the opportunity to work with for so long, and be here with you in Wisconsin. You know, 22,748 votes was the difference 4 years ago that Donald Trump carried this state by. 10,704 votes was the difference he carried Michigan by. I am an old, white, Catholic conservative. That now makes me a minority. That now makes it so that my children have to pay reparations for something I had nothing to do with. That's what the left is talking about. That's what socialism is. Socialism is that my grandfather fought in World War II, my father fought in Vietnam, my brother fought in Afghanistan, and we now have to be apologetic for serving as the greatest nation in the history of the planet. I don't buy that. I don't buy it because my children shouldn't be subjected to that. I don't buy it because the left tells us we have to apologize for everybody, like Barack Obama when he did the apology tour. See, where I come from, we kneel to God and we respect the flag.
Amen.
And I had the privilege to be a police officer in the state of New Hampshire for 4 years, to stand on what we call the thin blue line, that line between good and evil. And let me tell you something, evil exists in this world. And if you think that defunding the police, which is what these people want to do, is a path to safety and security for us and our families and our businesses and our schools and our communities, we are sorely mistaken. I have never in my tenure, when someone called 911 said, what's their race, what's their religion, what's their ethnicity, how much money do they have in the bank? You know what you do? You put the light on and you show up to respond. And if we think that social workers are going to have the opportunity to respond to domestic violence calls and the police aren't going to do that, we're asking for trouble. Look at what has taken place over the last 2.5 months in the northwest part of our country. Look at these elected leaders who are saying to us, let's defund the men and women who put their lives on the line every single day and let's send the money somewhere else. And they said, well, we don't call that defunding. We call it reattributing the money. Well, where I come from, when you take money out of my pocket and you give it to somebody else, that's called defunding. And the American people are smart, and the people in Wisconsin are smart. And they know that the future of our country is at stake in this election. The future of our country, when Joe Biden, by the way, he had an exceptional week this week. You know why? They told him who his vice presidential candidate was going to be. He was very excited. He said, wow, really? Have I met her? And they said, yeah, we're going to actually put you on the phone with her. And did anybody see the video? Yes. Joe had the phone upside down. And the beginning part, if you listen to the beginning of the video, which is amazing, she says, I'm sorry for making you wait. She didn't even want to take his call. And he said, who's on the phone? Jill, are you there? Jill? I think he thinks Jill is the vice presidential candidate. And then just as he was starting to get into his, argument of why he picked her or why they told to pick her, they cut away. The whole video, they cut away. Because he was in his office by himself with his mask on. Did you notice this? He's sitting at his desk alone with the mask on. Joe, you must wear a mask in case you inject yourself with COVID. He says, really? I mean, this is who the Democrats think has the mental acuity to be the leader of the free world. But you guys are smarter than that. You have seen in Donald Trump a candidate who has fought every day since before he came down that escalator, holding China accountable, making sure we have religious liberties, making sure the lives of the unborn are protected more so than any president in our nation's history, making sure that we have an economy that everybody benefits from, regardless of your age and your religion, your ethnicity. That's what Donald Trump has stood for. And now I can tell you this quick story because, I've said it a few times. I'm just going to tell it to you very quickly. We were in this state of Wisconsin one time in the primaries, which I knew we weren't going to win, so next time you guys better fix that, which you did, thank you. And we were flying from one little town in Wisconsin to another little town in Wisconsin. I had walking pneumonia, hadn't slept in probably 3 months. I was drinking about 15 Red Bulls a day. And I was in the back of the plane, and we were on Trump Force One, and Donald Trump was up there, and he turned around. I had my head on my arm like this, and I had my eyes closed, and he turned around and says, hey, Lewandowski, if you can't take it, we'll get somebody else. I said, sir, I haven't slept in 3 months. And he said, sleep, what's that? And that's who Donald Trump is, and that's who he was in the campaign. He outworked his opponents last time. He has outworked every person who's had the job as President of the United States, and that's why he's been able to achieve so many things. So thank you for being here. Thank you supporting the values that this president and vice president hold so dear, and join me in making sure that we return the state of Wisconsin to Republican hands, both as the governor and sending Donald Trump and Mike Pence back to Washington. Thank you, guys.
Corey, I think the one, a lot of things happened in 2015 and 2016. I'm not actually very good at predicting things. I never could have predicted. There's been a lot of change in this country. And some people don't like change. It scares them. Then what Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris want to do should really scare you, because it's like it's all change of everything that you love. But this idea that cops went from the heroes running up the Twin Towers while the Twin Towers came down, separating, protecting families when there's domestic violence. We all have a story of a cop doing something that saved the lives of someone we care about. And we've read about amazing heroism. You ever would have predicted that they could have turned those guys into the bad guys?
No, never. And, I can tell you, when I served in the department, I was going through the police academy in New Hampshire. There's only one police academy, so if you're a state trooper or you're a local PD or a sheriff, there's only one academy for everybody. When I was going through the academy 14 years ago, I guess now, we had an officer killed in the line of duty. Very rare in New Hampshire. He was at the end of a shift, and he answered a call, and he went through a back alley, and a guy shot him right through the face on purpose, and his only goal in life was to kill a police officer. That person, his name is Michael Sticks Addison, was the killer, shot Michael Briggs in the face, killed him instantly, and was given the death penalty in New Hampshire for killing a police officer in the line of duty. When that same opportunity presented Kamala Harris when she was the Attorney General of California, when an MS-13 gang member killed a police officer in the line of duty, you know what she said? No death penalty. The widow begged her, please bring justice to my husband and justice to my family. And she refused to prosecute that individual for the death penalty. That's what we're fighting for. That's what we're doing right now, is making sure the memory of these men and women who serve on that line, who give their lives every day, and all of these men and women have families. They're all out there, members of our community. We know them all. They deserve the right to have the retribution which they deserve. And I think, and hey, maybe I'm in the minority, but I think I'm okay in this room, if you kill a police officer in the line of duty, you deserve the death penalty.
I think what we ought to do, I'm actually not going to ask him to stand, because in this day and age, if a police officer came to a CPAC rally, I don't know what happened to him. But let's all give a round of applause to everybody who keeps us safe, including the security guards who are, there you go, there's someone standing. I like that. That's
Thank
good.
you.
That's what they deserve. And I want everyone to know right now, this is being live streamed on our website, conservative.org. Right, Zach? Right, Ian? Go to our website at conservative.org, always. We have this great show called CPAC Live, which is on 3 times a week. I don't know if any of you get to watch it, but we've had some great guests. We just had the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, on. We had Ken Cuccinelli, who's the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, who is building a wall, by the way. He's building a wall. They're heading up to almost 300 miles of wall. And so we encourage you to tune in and watch that show. We're doing the show because we feel like when you turn on the television, no matter really what station you turn to, when you open up the paper, I don't even know if I read papers anymore. I read the Washington Post the other day. It's like I ran to the bathroom afterwards. I'm like, it just makes you sick when you see this coverage. By the way, in the Washington Post yesterday, you would love this. You know, we all know that in America, because of Donald Trump's failed leadership, we have this thing called Chinese Corona, right? That's because of Donald Trump. It started off CPAC's fault. CPAC started this all, and I apparently gave it to, like, Ivanka. I mean, it was, like, amazing when I was reading. My daughters came up to me, because they love Ivanka, and they're like, Dad, why did you give Ivanka that Chinese bug?
Wuhan
I was like,
virus.
exactly, the Wu flu or whatever. I was like, well, actually, I didn't. And why are you reading the Washington Post? Why is that in my house? Get that, put it in the fireplace. But anyway, we started doing the show because I think you feel like we feel, which is you just want to get the unfiltered truth. And that's why we're here today, too. We're going to talk about issues that you care about. Hey, guess what? We're not all going to agree on all these issues. That's America. It's a beautiful thing. Even conservatives have diversity. But what we see for the first time in a very long time is we have a president who just won't take it. He fights back. They kick dirt in his eyes. He kicks the dirt right back in their eyes. And it's a wonderful thing. And as I said, as we got started, we're going to go all over this country. I'm going from here to Nevada. Corey's going to...
I just spent 4 days in Florida. I don't know if I can say this, because I should be, I think, self-quarantining. I'm not sure, but I was in New Hampshire
Don't
this
worry,
morning.
we'll wrap you up in
at 4
bubbles,
a.m.
Corey. That's okay.
I left my home at 4 a.m. this morning to come out here from New Hampshire, because it's so important to be here. I'm here today. My children are making their confirmation, their first communion tomorrow, so I'm back there tomorrow.
Wow.
And then I am, I think I get 4 or 5 states tomorrow.
And where are
next
you
week.
off to next? You just
I'm
came
here.
from...
We're bringing the big pink Women for Trump bus. It's going to be closer to Milwaukee, I believe. We have several stops on Sunday, so we'll be here all day Sunday.
And I go from here to Nevada. Without my wife, to Vegas.
And we don't know where
to
the children
Reno.
are, but that's a whole different story.
We know
no,
where the children...
actually, they're in Miami safely with my sister, and I was like, you just need to take them. And apparently, Joe won't show in Wisconsin, but the Women for Trump will, CPAC will, because we are committed to winning this state.
So we love the fact that you're here. We're going to get on with our show. We're going to stay on time. We're going to feed you lunch. We're going to give you a lot of great ideas of things you can do to take back Wisconsin. We're going to have one of your former governors. What's his name? Scott Walker.
The very best.
Yeah, the best is going to be with us today. Congressman Mike Gallagher and many others. So I'm going to turn the show back over to Ian.